Hey everybody, High Lord Tamerlane back with more obscurities and miniatures, and I got Barzam sitting here if he has anything to contribute.
No, nothing.
Fine, screw you. Anyway, we're gonna look at Skragrott the Loonking. Not the Lion King, but the Loon King. There are no lions present. So this guy was kind of a treat for me. My parents picked it up when they were in Sweden.
I think it was Sweden.
Is that where Stockholm is?
Yes.
Besides being a syndrome?
Sweden.
Okay. Anyway, they ended up in Sweden, and my brother got all the fancy special not war games exclusive, Warhammer store minis, and all I got was a loon.
Because I had the foresight to actually ask for them.
I didn't know they were going to go to a GW store. Can I open the box?
No.
I'm going to try real hard. So interestingly enough, he is not in a clamshell, but he's in a special plastic tray that does not want to get out of. Look! There, finally.
The most professional of filming jobs here.
Absolutely. Isn't this the smaller cavalry base?
Do they even use those anymore?
Yeah.
Cavalry bases, I mean.
Well, obviously it would have been on a square in the past, but in ye olden times.
I haven't.
Okay,
built...
a bike. Is this a bike base?
No.
What would this be in 40K terms?
I think that might be the.
We have an important conversation to discuss here before actually talking about
the Mechanicus Sniper's base.
Okay, but they had other things that were on these bases at one point. No, I don't know. Okay, anyway, I know that I've seen horses on these, smaller horses, elvish horses probably, because they're dainty like little girls. So our friend Skragrott here seems to be not too many pieces actually. I'm kind of surprised, but there is a lot of, I don't want to say clutter, but embellishment maybe, being the Loon King and all.
He's fancy.
Fancy. I do like his attendant squigs. I wonder if they have special rules. Where's his head? Here's his head, right?
Now, does he have any alternate parts?
I don't think so. Is that his head? I keep pointing to this part right here. Here, you hold this. Hold this right there in front of the camera. No, I want to look at that.
I think that's part of his head, yeah.
All right. Get that in front of the camera for a sec. So, how many parts does he look like? See, he's got a lot of stuff just dangling all over him, especially on his cloak and his hat. So, this is going to be a challenge to paint decently. Am I up to that challenge? Possibly. Shall I grab some clippers?
I think you should.
All right, I'm going to grab some clippers and let's see what he looks like. So we got Skragrott done here, and we actually figured out. So this was an interesting bit, the way this second airborne squig attaches. You'll see there's a little gap there. I had a really hard time discerning how to build him from the instructions, directions, word things with pictures. Anyway, I thought he was supposed to actually balance on the tip of that, and there's a little piece where he just kind of latches and slides in, but I didn't figure that out at first. But yeah, now he's on there. So other than that, I found it kind of complicated to figure out how to build his head the way they had it listed in the instructions. Like, they had just the tip of his chin and his nose like attached to the torso, and then like you had to put one side of the head and then the other side, like the way the crown and the hood are, and then it all kind of clicked together and you smushed it. Like, it didn't make sense.
Technical term, smushing it?
Smushing it, yes. There's probably a... So, smooshing. As we debate our smooshing, there's a lot of actual detail that went under his cape, but you don't really see it. I mean, it's actually fully detailed, which I found kind of interesting, but then it's absolutely obscured by his two-part cloak that didn't want to go together for me, and I made a big gluey mess, and Barzam had to fix because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, obviously.
See, that's why I assemble my models in chunks and paint them.
Well, I always assemble them in chunks too, but for when I do the videos, I do tend to do them in chunks usually, but he's a freaking goblin. He's like, 3 centimeters tall, if even that, with his mushrooms and crap, so... There he is with his parade of squigs. And I mean, he's a little bit taller, I guess, than the loon boss. But they're goblins. They're tiny anyway. I do like his little entourage there, which is kind of a nice touch. And just in case you're curious how big they are, here is our intrepid, unpainted Marine friend.
Of course, most of the king's height is from his staff and his crown.
Yeah. Yeah, his crown is quite the model piece. If I could just get it in focus there. It's going to be a real pain in the butt to actually paint that. And even if I had left his head off in chunks, I still think the way his arm actually attaches, the hand kind of was free floating until you actually glued the cape on. So it's like, you know, these weird engineering tricks that a lot of these modern GW kits have, whereas in the past, you know, you probably could get away with just having a straight cut on the head. And
well, in the past, there wouldn't have been any detail underneath the cape.
that's true also. That's very true. So there is a lot of character. Sadly, there's not a lot in terms of customization or optional junk that you can do with him. But then again, I think you're not going to probably have more than one of these type dudes on the board anyways. I don't see us having any mass battle with fantasy anytime soon.
Not on this scale.
Well, also you'll do it at 15 millimeter, huh?
You've got that Joan of Arc game coming.
Oh yeah, I do. And I got all the Battle Valor stuff if you ever want to paint it. I'll give it to you to paint. Yeah. Anyway, so I'll have to try to find some kind of use for him in like a, what was it, skirmish, or maybe Warcry will have some kind of goblin rules when that rolls around. Would you do Warcry at least?
Probably. There's weird stuff in that.
Do you want to play as the pots and pans chaos guys?
You're saying you don't?
Absolutely I do. But in the meantime, I'm going to paint these guys up. I actually have had a lot of fun painting these goblins, and usually I can't stand goblins, so that at least attests to the fun and character of these guys, except I still haven't painted that fungoid shaman dude with the caterpillar.
The dude getting high?
Yeah. Well, that's the Gobblepalooza dudes, too. I haven't even built those yet. All right, well, we know what we're going to build next. So it sounds like Gobblepalooza is up next. I will leave you all as we attempt to figure out how we're going to build that. With that said, this is High Lord Tamberlane and
Barzam.
And this is Obscurities and Miniatures, and we will say sayonara.
Not Dance Magic Dance.
All right, goodbye.